Okay, so I just finished Hype House, the Netflix reality show, and it's honestly not that bad. Okay, I hope I'm filming this well. So, about Hype House. I'm just gonna be real with you guys. I've got things to do today. I'm literally about to go and tour a apartment, and then I'm gonna film that, and it's gonna be a whole big thing. And I don't have a car at the moment, so we have to do bus schedules. So I have to leave early, and yada yada yada. I'm sure this is super entertaining for you guys. My point is, this is going to be a quick and easy review kind of vibe, and get ready with me and yada yada yada. I'm gonna try to finish this shit in 30 minutes, okay? I do not. Where do you think you're going? This is not gonna be a one of those in-depth reviews and I talk about every scandal they've been a part of and yada yada yada. This is opinion based, okay? You guys, I won't even find clips of the show. Let's get one thing straight. I'm not getting paid for this shit. I do this locked in my bathroom and I'm afraid to wake my roommates up. I'm in my bathroom. I used to film in my bathroom. Not anything kinky. What I'm trying to say is I don't get anything from doing this, okay? This is just from true boredom. And the only thing that's entertaining me and also the only thing that gets views is when I talk shit about other people. Which is great because the Hype House is a whole lot of shit to talk about. Let's start out with the good, okay? Let's be nice. I thought the show itself wasn't awful. Can you believe that? I mean, like, no, I know you guys are like, she's being sarcastic. I'm not. They started off easy. The very first episode in the Hype House was, they gave us pretty much all the drama we're gonna hear throughout the entire rest of the show. Anyways, the problem seems to be who's a part of the Hype House and who's not. And this is important because if you're not a part of the Hype House or if you're not doing work in the Hype House, like making videos and stuff, it's literally a content sharing house, then you're not paying your due. You're just living in a mansion or one of the mansions for free. That's a problem. Lily and Nikita Dragon, they're friends. They're also the only POC and LGBTQ plus IA people in the Hype House, which, like, I don't know why we didn't talk more about that. And they're having troubles, and they're also the closest in there. So it's interesting to see, you know, two really close friends fight it out through drama. We love seeing that. Then more specifically, Chase or Little Huddy, if you guys probably know him from, because I did not know his name was Chase. I had no idea. When people said Chase, I was like, who the fuck is that? You guys may also know him more as Charlie D'Amelio's ex. I mean, let's be real. He doesn't know if he wants to be a musician or if he wants to still be a content creator. And this is important because he's in a mansion that the content creator, like the head of the content creator, Thomas, paid for, and he's not making content. So how is he paying for the house? Let's just come in closer quick. That answer is never solved. They never, I mean, I don't know, like, they never battled it out. Is he living in a house rent free? Does some of the money from the album that Lil Huddy put out go to Thomas Paine? Editing me here? Yeah, no idea why I keep saying Thomas Paine. I'm talking about Thomas Petru. His name's not Thomas Paine. I don't know, like if I was just read a history book or something and I was like, yes, Thomas Paine, the TikTok sensation. Like, the guy's name is Petru, Thomas Petru. Thomas Petru. His name is Thomas Petru. Since he's paying for the house Lil Huddy's living in? That's a question. And then we have drama between Alex Warren and Koval. Alex Warren is that David Dobrik ripoff, if you guys know him from. They don't mention that in the entire show. Okay. I think that's all. And then we have some like randos thrown in there. Like, I forgot all those people's names, who just don't put out as much content. And they really complain about that. And then we have some of Chase's friends. I don't remember if they put out content or not. And then we have Vinny. You know, Vinny is a new boy in the content creator, and that's why he's interesting. So he's kind of like someone who doesn't particularly want to be a content creator like this, but who got all these followers out of nowhere. What should my makeup look like today? Okay. I'm sorry, I had to think it through. Vinny, by the way, he got a fan from me. I'm gonna be real. I found his TikTok and I was hit follow. Because he's popular because he does like gaming, don't kill. But he also does, what is it called? When you look cute on a camera and you like dance or something, he does that. So everything was filmed in 21 in like June or something. And then there was a pause because of Lily getting COVID. That's when we get into one of the first dramas. Nikita Dragon versus Lily. How do I say this? Nikita Dragon and Lily are like besties, okay? They're like super tight. They're also part of the content creator house, but they're closer with each other than anyone else in the house. Not saying they're not also friends with people in the house. Also, neither of them actually live in the house, but they're still part of the hype house. Both of them had negative reactions when they joined the hype house / TikTok. Nikita Dragon had shit because she's a trans woman, and her entire TikTok, no one knew she was trans in the beginning, and then they found out, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's not an actual woman. And they say, you know what's so fucking stupid? Sorry, but when guys think they're being smart and they're talking shit about someone who's trans, and they're like, and this trans woman is probably one of the prettiest women you've seen in your life, right? It could be any of the fantastic trans women we see on TikTok, and they're just gorgeous. And some of them are more femme, some of them are more masked, some of them have had their surgeries, top and bottom surgeries. Some of them aren't, and they don't ever want to. Either way, these are usually, I mean, I'm just saying, I only ever see gorgeous people on my page, I'm gonna be real. But these are gorgeous, amazing, and sweet people. And shit in the comments will say, like, what a handsome man. Honey, if you find men like that you find attractive, you may just be gay. Like, I don't know how they think they're winning the argument with that. And then some of them say, well, whatever you have between your legs doesn't tell lie. I'm like, some of these women have had bottom surgery. They have a vagina. So you're gonna eat your words now, or you're gonna find some other excuse to be a transphobic piece of shit? Anyways, people gave a lot of shit to Nikita Dragon for being trans when she started on TikTok. You know, same shit she got from YouTube. She's used to it, and she fought through it by being hot and sexy and being truly Nikita Dragon. She's a fashion girlie. She's a fashion girlie. Also, some of the shit she got is definitely from the black community, because she has this terrible habit of blackfishing, which is interestingly brought up in the show, but never solved. And that's another episode between Lily and Nikita Dragon. But anyways, in this episode, Lily gets COVID, okay? And so they have to stop filming. Everyone has to go in quarantine. This is the episode I found it hard to finish, because okay, let me build this suspense for you guys. Since he got COVID and stuff, obviously, everyone hears about it. He's a popular influencer. We find out he has COVID. And someone on Lily's team says, blames Nikita Dragon. Says that Nikita Dragon forced Lily to go to a party while he had COVID. And neither of them should be going to parties, is the thing. That's the one thing they miss. Nikita Dragon briefly says, which is so stupid that we're partying during a pandemic. I'm like, yeah, let's focus on that. Why are you partying during a pandemic? That's like the one thing that pisses me off, because that entire episode is Nikita Dragon saying how her best friend, Lily, is going to have his team lie to make sure Lily's not canceled, and Nikita Dragon will be. And this episode introduces us to the language or the influencer lingo of cancellation. But let's be real, you don't actually meet any real consequences. No one has been canceled so much that they got evicted from their house, or they don't have a career still. Just look at James Charles. Though he may not be able to convince the D'Amelios to do his little stupid videos with him anymore, he's still a multi-millionaire. And he's still probably DMing little boys. But this video is not about him. This episode really pissed me off, because the entire thing was about them being afraid of being canceled, rather than them talking about putting people's lives at risk because you went to a fucking party. Lily didn't know why Nikita Dragon was mad at him, because Nikita Dragon never told Lily that someone on his team blamed it on her, and we're supposed to believe that Lily just is so bad with handling his own team influencer work that he has no idea that his literal manager told Nikita Dragon's manager that Lily is blaming it on Nikita Dragon. Either way, during a dodgeball tournament, they meet up and they become friends, but it's like, he got an eye on you. I think this show really did show how fun of a person Nikita Dragon is. I don't really watch her YouTube because I think sometimes they're too long-winded, in my opinion. and because she does the whole blackfishing stuff. So it was nice seeing on this show her actual personality. Of course, Nikita Dragon has this like very flamboyant kind of personality, and she kind of talks with her hands a lot and uses a lot of common terms and facial expressions and stuff. So it does just kind of seem like she's faking it. But you just watch the whole thing and you're like, I actually think that's just her. Yeah, that's just how she acts. Which was cute. She was a really funny character on the show, truly. She was like this motherly almost type of figure. And I don't know if that was just because of branding, because they're like, oh, we need to make people like me since I am a cultural vulture. I mean, let's just say it how it is. Everyone in the house, everyone who had interaction with Lily had to quarantine. The show stopped filming for a couple of days. And everyone in the house was just so upset with Lily for getting COVID. Even though all of them that I know of, the Hype House in general, we've heard stories of them from 2020 when this outbreak first happened throughout 2021 of them continuously going to fucking parties. At the end of the show, they hold a party. It's a small one. I can assume that everyone was quarantining, yada yada, who fucking knows. What about one of the servers at the party? Someone who's giving them the drink, someone who has to decorate, someone who has to clean it. Are the other regular people like us who's working these parties are having to put their lives at risk because some fucking influencers want to celebrate their 22nd birthday? 22 is not a special number, guys. 22? 22? That's not a birthday party celebration. That's you go out for drinks. And if bars are closed because people are literally dying, maybe you Grubhub something instead. Like, are you kidding me? I don't like how this entire show, and it's not just this episode, it's like throughout this whole thing, it's like they put themselves on this higher level, these influencers, because they're changing people's lives with the content they're creating, and they're so afraid they're gonna be canceled, because if they're canceled, they won't be able to sustain this lifestyle. And oh my gosh, guys, they had a hard upbringing, but that doesn't make them special. Like, that doesn't make them better than literally anyone else. Lots of people have had tough upbringing. And they still can quarantine properly, and they can still get work out, and they can still just stop complaining every 5 seconds. That's something I'm gonna talk about. I'm okay. I understand that we all have emotions and we all like should be able to express these emotions, but there's this common trope in this show of them just like, I don't know. It's like it's like a lack of gratefulness, if that makes sense. How much time do I have? Ooh, I got 15 minutes. Shit. Let's finish this fucking eye, okay? Okay. So before I go too in depth about this lack of gratefulness, let me kind of tell you two other major plot points. One of the major problems is the problem between, I already said, Chase, Huddy, and Thomas, and so last name here. They are one of the two founders, okay? I'm one of the three founders. Those are 2/3 of the founders of Hype House. It's Thomas, who's like the main leader, Alex Warren, and Chase Hudson. And they... Oh no, guys. Why did you let me start this without first cleaning my beauty sponge? That's very fucking fake of you guys. I'll be right back. And the problem between Chase Hudson and Thomas Paine is Chase Hudson moved out of the physical Hype House. He lives in the Chase House or whatever it's called. Him and like two other people who's originally from the Hype House, and they are still technically a part of the Hype House, but they're now not really paying the due. So Thomas tells us throughout the show that the combined sponsorships of everyone kind of goes together to pay for the house. So now it's kind of like Chase Hudson and his two friends. They're living from a house that Thomas Paine paid for, or I guess the Hype House paid for. I don't know how this kind of goes for. I'm assuming the combination of the Hype House paid for. But you know, every Thomas Paine does all the like logistical work, I guess. Clearly people are going to be pissed off, right? And throughout that, it's because he's making music. He wants to put out this I think it's called American Sweetheart or something, Sweetheart America, something like that, album out. and it's gonna be his first album because he's a musician at heart. And I will say, I didn't listen to the full album. I listened to half of it. It's pretty good. Some of the songs are super fucking repetitive, like number 3 and number 4 or repetitive. I think I liked number 5. It gives me like vibes of All Time Low, Fall Out Boy, even a little bit of Falling in Reverse. Some even Green Day, very Y2K rock. He has a strong voice. It's a solid album, but he's in the process of making this album and the show, so he's not making concerts and stuff. That's a really big drama, and Thomas has to deal with not just Chase not making content, but a lot of people in the house not making content, and all of this goes on his back. He has to still pay, make sure that everyone can live, and the way that the Hype House is set up is kind of just through good vibes. They don't actually sign any contracts. Thomas Paine doesn't get a percentage of anyone's work, which is very different from like Team 10 or the FaZe Banks house or whatever, all that stuff called. So he's stressing out. And so while Thomas Paine is trying to struggle and figure out how he's gonna continue to pay for everything while no one is putting in the work, he is content, I suppose, or he's glad that he found the success and he's got all this money. They love reminding us how rich they are because they say it a lot. He just can't be happy. This is a little bit of like ungratefulness, because I understand the problem of not being happy, but that's the thing. I think happiness, idea of just being happy all the time, is kind of stupid. In my opinion, your life you shouldn't be looking out trying to be happy, okay? Despite what Beyonce said. You should be trying to be content, okay? Happiness is a feeling, okay? Just like sad is a feeling. You can't, most people aren't sad all the time. They could be depressed. No, because it's a feeling. It comes and goes, just like happiness, just like feeling sick, like you're gonna throw up. Those are feelings. I don't know why they don't kind of think, well, maybe you should get therapy. I'm not trying to hate on him for not being comfortable talking to a therapist, but I just feel like his goal of being happy is never gonna happen. Of course we feel for Thomas Paine. He's actually a very likable character. That's one thing else. The show is able to give us thought out characters. When you think of Hype House, you think of a bunch of little white kids living in a fucking mansion. You assume privilege and all that stuff. This show humanizes them. Thomas Paine, Mia, Alex, is his name Thomas Paine? Thomas, Mia, Alex Warren, Corv, Larry, Nikita Dragon, all of these people, they have like rough upbringing, you know? Alex Warren and Corv, they were homeless. They lived in their car together, okay? As they were putting out content. And it was not because they were doing like hashtag truck fan life. It's because they could not live in an apartment. Mia dealt with an abusive father. Thomas Paine, though we don't hear a lot about it, he dealt with possibly an abusive male figure in his life. Nikita Dragon, she got a lot of hate for being a trans woman. Like, she goes through a lot of shit because of that, okay? Larry grew up in the projects. All of this stuff we see and we're like, yes, they're rich now. That does not mean it just showed up. They did work for this. Becoming close, they also got to where they're from a whole lot of luck. Maybe not as much as Larry and Nikita Dragon, but the rest of the crew, I mean, you guys dance on TikTok. I don't know why we're not gonna pretend like luck is a little bit involved. In fact, something that would have been interesting if they brought up, the founder of TikTok said to make the app successful, you have to put a star in it. You have to make people have this aspiration of becoming famous on it. You need to make a goal so people continue to make content on TikTok. And thus the Dixie D'Amelio and Addison Rays, who originated from Hype House, kind of came from. And that's just something that's not brought up a lot. Another tidbit from the editor, which is also the person talking in the video. Oh my god, that's crazy. Multi-skilled. They got to where they're from a whole lot of luck, and also from, you know, following trends and not crediting that a black person originated them, you know. And that's something that people keep getting annoyed at. They're like, oh my gosh, I have to tag every who fucking makes a trend. I'm just saying, a lot of the trends that white people are being praised for on TikTok, a person of color made first. I believe that these kids really did work for what they wanted, but it's also because of luck, because you happen to be pretty and white. Like, why are we not mentioning, why are we pretending like race has nothing to do with this hype house? If race had nothing to do with it, Lily and Nikita Dragon wouldn't be the only POCs in the entire house, would they? And so throughout the show, Thomas is thinking, wow, if we're not going to come together as a group and put out content to continue to fund for this house, but put it out in a way where he doesn't feel like he's forcing people to pull their end, he may just have to shut the whole thing down. Coming close, the problem with reality shows like that, where we can follow, no, actually, we're going back. I'll tell you this at the end. And we're going to move on to Alex Warren and Corv. So I do not know how to say that young lady's name. I'm not purposely butchering it. I just want to make that clear. Okay. Alex Warren, a lot of his content comes from making interesting things happen in his life, whether that's we go jet skiing, oh my god, what a crazy prank, guys. Very David Dobrik. Okay, I'm not gonna explain the intense type of vlogging he does, because there's 1,000 fucking videos about it. Go watch one of those. Watch one David Dobrik video. They're shorter and they're usually more interesting. I'm joking, don't watch David Dobrik. He's just problematic and he never did a proper apology for after someone got raped by one of his best friends from a situation that he made. David Dobrik being that he. So Alex Warren is always stressed. The entire show, he's always stressed and worried about making the next good video, because if you don't make a good video, then you don't get sponsorships, then you can't pick this house, and then oh no, you could be homeless again. We do feel for him. You don't want any of them to be homeless again. You don't want them to go back to these dangerous situations they may have come from, right? You want them to be content in their life. And the only problem with this storyline, or with the storylines involving all of them, when they're worried about money and stuff, is if they don't make enough sponsorships, they can no longer afford to live in a mansion. Most people can't afford to live in a mansion. They would be okay. Alex tells us he spends hundreds of thousands of dollars on videos to get on 5-minute videos, okay? He does it. He has the money. Put some of that in savings, and maybe you won't have to be worrying about all of this as much. It's not like the same people who are worried about if they can pay their bills while being locked inside of a house during quarantine in 2020. These people make content. These people live in a mansion for no other reason to make content. It's really hard for us to feel bad for these people. I'm not saying, hate them or like eat the rich and eat Alex Warren. I'm not saying that. Like, out of all the rich people, these people are not like not even top 50%, okay? I don't know. So it's like every time Alex Warren tells us how he wants to make more videos and continue to uplive this lifestyle, it's kind of like we continue to, in the beginning, like, yeah, we care. But when you can keep telling someone how rich you are, at some point we want to stop listening, because we're not. We're not, like, the relatability is suddenly not there. I guess it's cool to look up, to be aspirational, to be that rich. But even then, they don't make being rich seem all that fun when they're always complaining about it. More money does not mean more problems. More problems comes from more stress, because you're so obsessed with money. That's your brain. That's a you problem. That's not a money problem. Money does not invent problems. It just doesn't, okay? That's people. And so that finally leads us to Thomas Paine's decision. Is his name Thomas Paine? I keep saying it. I think Thomas Paine is someone else. But this leads to Thomas's decision. Is he going to end the hype house? If he ends the hype house, sure, the other people, they can continue to produce content, but they won't have, quite a nice place to do it from. They won't always be with their friends, yada, yada, yada. So it could be a problem for everyone. But it will be such a release of stress for Thomas. You'd think that this one decision that they bring up for the last episode, you'd be on your toes. The only problem is, let's talk about other reality TV shows real quick. Keeping Up with the Kardashians is filmed 6 months in advance, and frankly speaking, we do not see their everyday lives. They may post regularly on platforms like sometimes YouTube, but Instagram, but these are very curated photos. And they're not the only ones for the show. Think of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. In the early days, Instagram was not like the way it is. We don't see what's going on in their lives regularly. In fact, they don't tell us much about it until the show airs. or any of the Real Housewives to now. They're not on TikTok every fucking day telling us what's going on in their lives. Contest shows, okay? America's Next Top Model. The entire point of it is that these group of aspiring top models are locked away from the rest of society. No one talks about, we don't know what's going on inside of the house until the show airs. Problem with the Hype House is we know from the very beginning that this show, that Hype House isn't gonna be deformed or disformed, because you can go and follow them and watch the videos about the Hype House as you're on TikTok, as you're watching the reality show. There's no fucking stress. You're not worried. You're not like, oh my gosh, is Thomas Payne gonna end the show? You know he's not, because you can hit follow on their TikTok right now. And also, when you go on the TikTok, you suddenly feel less bad about all of them being so stressed about putting out content. Because at least on the Hype House TikTok, I'm sure when they do YouTube videos, and especially Alex Warren, like there's a lot of editing skills that has to go into that stuff to keep people engaged. But on those simple TikTok videos and the sponsors you see on it, which is literally just fucking bang energy, you suddenly think, huh, yeah, you have it really easy. Like, why were you guys upset that you didn't want to, like, post a thirst trap? That's what it's called. Or use a TikTok filter, or sometimes they don't do anything. They just say, guess what so-and-so just did? And they just happen to be holding a bang energy in the side of the video. They never mention it, and they never say, this bang tastes so good. They just throw it in there, and they never say hashtag sponsored. They just happen to at bang. That's really weird. Is bang energy just paying for the house at this point? Are you kidding me? They don't taste all that good. You're not always just drinking them. They're not bad. I do like a bang every once in a while. I do like being banged too. Okay, that was a lousy joke, and I'm actually gonna go off myself now because of it. Altogether, I'm sure this video was all over the place. To that, I want to say, oops, my bad. My point is, the show's not awful, okay? I like the humanization of these people. I think, and I think it's even worth having a season 2. But I think if they're going to do a show, we need to be very clear. They need to just calm down with uploading on TikTok, which is gonna be real because they're a TikTok house. And also a bit humble yourselves, because they're not particularly doing God's work. So do I recommend you watching it? It's easy trash TV. I don't see why not. Is it gonna make you like them? It's gonna humanize them, but I don't know if I like them any more than I used to. But I do hope for them. I don't know. I hope they can find a way to be content. If any of them like have serious depression and I'm just saying, just be happy, I'm not. I understand depression is like an actual mental illness. None of them said they had depression, so if they do, oops. Obviously, I hope that they can, with those great strands of money and privilege, they'll take themselves to therapy and get professional help. I really do hope that for all of them. And yeah, do I have anything else to say? Like this video if you liked it. If you didn't like it, you should like it anyways, because like, what the hell? It's so free to just hit the thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. I love reading hate comments, so leave one of those. Or a love comment if you're obsessed with me. Do you like my outfit? It's kind of like pirate, but it's a chilly day. I'm a chilly pirate. Ooh, let me show you the boots I'm wearing. And then you just throw the boots on, and you pretend like you don't get tired of walking around in boots all day, even though you know you do. Oh my god. I drank some coffee and I ate a Pop-Tart for breakfast, and now I'm gonna actually go take probably the biggest shit of my life. Before I'm late to my own apartment touring, I'm gonna go. Love your big nose. Mwah.